Have you ever found yourself wide awake at 3 in the morning? Not because of a bad dream or aching joints, but because something in your room just doesn't feel quite right? You're lying there, the house is quiet, everything's still. But your mind, it won't settle. There's this strange, unsettled feeling like your body's trying to rest, but something in the space around you is holding it back. For many older adults, especially those living alone, this is more common than you'd think. And the truth is, it might not be about your health. It might not even be about stress. Sometimes the way your room is arranged, the energy it holds, the little details you've stopped noticing, they can quietly shape how deeply and peacefully you sleep. That's why today I want to offer a different kind of solution. No pills, no complex rituals, just a calm, thoughtful look at your bedroom through the gentle lens of something called Feng Shui. Now don't worry, this isn't about superstition. It's about creating an environment that speaks to your nervous system in ways words can't. Feng Shui simply means wind and water. It's an ancient approach to living that recognizes how space, flow, and placement affect how we feel. And when it comes to sleep, those little things can make a world of difference, especially in this stage of life when we need rest more than ever, but often get less of it. So if you've tried everything else and sleep still feels fragile or broken, let's look at the one place we often forget to question: the room itself. As we grow older, our sleep naturally changes. Hormones shift. We wake more easily. Our bodies ache in places that never used to complain. But what makes it harder is that many of us simply try to power through, blaming age or stress or habits. What we don't always see is how the space we sleep in either supports us or slowly works against us. I remember a woman I once spoke with in her 70s. She lived alone in a small apartment. Nothing in her medical checkups explained why she kept waking up at night, feeling tense and unsettled. It wasn't until someone pointed out the large mirror on the wall, positioned right across from her bed, that she realized how exposed and uneasy it made her feel in the dark. She moved it, and within days her sleep became calmer. That's the heart of what we're exploring here. The subtle power of space. How the smallest shifts in what surrounds you can bring deep changes in how you rest. Now think about your bed for a moment. Not just the mattress or the sheets, but where it sits. Does it feel safe, solid, protected? Feng Shui sees the bed as the most important piece of furniture in your home, not just because you sleep in it, but because it holds your body in its most vulnerable hours. If the head of your bed is up against a window, or if your feet point straight out toward the door, your nervous system may be quietly resisting rest. You might not realize it, but your body senses exposure, feels unprotected. There was another woman, widowed, in her late 60s. She had her bed placed directly under a window because that's where it fit best in her small room. But she often woke with a tight chest, a sense of unease she couldn't explain. After she moved her bed to face the door while keeping her head against a solid wall, things began to shift. The anxiety faded. Her sleep became steadier. She didn't change her routine. She changed her orientation. That alone made the difference. This isn't magic. It's psychology. It's safety. Your body knows when it feels protected. Your eyes may be closed, but something deeper inside is always listening to your surroundings. So many older adults live alone, and in that quiet, your environment becomes more powerful. It's not just about where your bed sits. It's about what's around it. A cluttered room, even if it looks normal during the day, can become overwhelming at night. Stacks of books, piles of paperwork, laundry baskets, these things carry mental weight. Your brain sees them as unfinished business. And that, even when you're not conscious of it, creates tension. There was a woman I once read about who loved to read. She had 5 different books on her nightstand at all times. She liked the comfort of options. But over time, she noticed that instead of relaxing her, the pile made her feel scattered and pressured. She'd pick one up, read a page, feel guilty for not touching the others, and then she couldn't fall asleep. When she finally cleared the nightstand and left just one book, her mind softened. She no longer felt pulled in 5 directions before bed, and she started sleeping better. Sometimes peace isn't about doing more. It's about doing less. Making space for your mind to rest by creating space in your room. And speaking of space, let's not forget light. Light, especially in this stage of life, has a huge impact on our sleep. Our eyes become more sensitive. Our circadian rhythm, our natural sleep-wake cycle, can be thrown off by even the tiniest glow. Think about all the sources of light in your room, not just the lamps, the digital clock, the hallway night light, the small charging light on your phone. All of these send signals to your brain that say, stay alert. I remember a man who couldn't figure out why he kept waking up around 2 or 3 every morning. His room was dark, or so he thought. But when someone helped him examine it closely, they found a street lamp shining right through the thin curtain above his bed. It wasn't obvious, but his body felt it. He switched to blackout curtains, and that one simple change helped him sleep through the night. And it's not just light, it's also color and air. Rooms painted in loud or stimulating tones can affect your ability to wind down. Harsh reds, bold yellows, they may be cheerful in daylight, but at night they keep your brain awake. Soft earth tones, gentle blues, muted greens, warm beiges, these speak to the nervous system. They whisper calm. And then there's air. We often forget how important airflow is. Stale air makes the room feel heavy. Just cracking a window in the early evening, even for 5 minutes, can bring new life into the space. The room breathes. And so do you. So here we are. We've talked about the position of your bed, the clutter around it, the lighting, the color, the breath of fresh air. Each of these on its own might seem small, but together they shape the way your body enters rest. They tell your nervous system whether it's safe to let go, or whether it needs to stay on guard. And if you've been struggling with sleep, even when everything else seems in order, maybe it's time to ask, what is your room saying to you? Because even in silence, the space speaks. And as we'll see next, it's not just furniture or lighting that affects your sleep. There's something else. Something more personal, more emotional. The objects you choose to live with. The photos, the keepsakes, the quiet hum of a phone by your bed. All of these carry meaning. Some invite rest. Others disturb it, gently but persistently. In the next part, we'll explore how your bedroom may be holding on to feelings, memories, and emotional noise that's keeping you awake, without you even realizing it. And as we continue exploring how the energy in our bedroom might be quietly shaping the way we sleep, it's worth pausing for a moment and asking, when was the last time you truly felt at peace in your own bedroom? Not just comfortable, not just fine, but truly peaceful. The kind of peace where your breath slows down the moment you enter, where the weight you carry all day gently drops off your shoulders as you lie back. That kind of peace doesn't just happen by chance. It's created, often quietly, often slowly, by the way your space is arranged, the way it welcomes you or pushes you away. And this, in essence, is what Feng Shui is trying to do. Not in a mystical way, not in some magical promise, but in a deeply practical way. Using the arrangement of space to support your body, your mood, and yes, your sleep. One of the most overlooked elements in this practice is the placement of your bed. For many older adults, especially those who live alone, the bed becomes more than a place to sleep. It becomes a place of thinking, of remembering, sometimes even a place of grief. And where your bed sits, how it faces the door, what it backs onto, can either invite calm or stir up tension you can't quite explain. In traditional Feng Shui thinking, the command position of the bed matters. It means you should be able to see the door from your bed, without being directly in line with it. Why? Because it gives a sense of control even when you're resting. You feel safe. You're not startled by movement. You're not unknowingly turning your back to the world. For someone who wakes up several times a night, especially with age-related anxiety or light sleeping, this subtle shift in orientation can make the difference between tossing and turning, and gradually drifting into deeper rest. Now, you might wonder, can something so small really have that much impact? Well, let's think about real lives here. There was a woman named Marjorie, 74 years old, who had been battling fragmented sleep for nearly a decade. She tried medication, white noise machines, herbal teas, you name it. One day, during a community wellness session, someone casually suggested she try adjusting the position of her bed. Just give it a week, they said. Nothing else changed. No new pillows, no new routines. Just the bed, turned to face a different wall, where she could now see the door without being in its path. And to her quiet surprise, something shifted. Not overnight, not like magic, but she reported falling asleep faster, and waking up with less tension in her chest. That's not a miracle. That's environment at work. Another element often overlooked is the area under the bed. In our later years, we tend to store things for convenience. extra sheets, holiday decorations, even old boxes of memories. But from an energy perspective, this creates a kind of heaviness and emotional clutter that sits right beneath us while we sleep. And we carry that weight, sometimes without even realizing it. There's a story I remember of an older gentleman named Hank, a widower who kept all of his wife's old belongings in bins under the bed. He couldn't let go, and he wasn't ready to. But he also couldn't sleep. His nights were full of waking of strange dreams of restlessness. One day, with great care and sadness, he moved those items into a small chest in another room, still near, still accessible, but no longer right beneath him every night. And slowly, his sleep became gentler. Not perfect, but gentler. There's something to be said for what we choose to carry, and where we carry it. The same goes for what hangs around your bed. Artwork, photographs, mirrors. Do they calm you? Or do they pull you into old stories, old faces, old regrets? It's a hard question, but it's one worth asking. Now let's talk about light. We know medically that light affects the brain's production of melatonin. Blue light from screens delays it. Warm light invites it. But Feng Shui adds another layer. The kind of light we surround ourselves with, especially at night, also shapes how the energy in the room flows. Harsh overhead lights can feel jarring. Flickering lights can feel unstable. Ideally, in the hours leading up to sleep, you want soft lighting that hugs the room gently. Lamps with warm-toned bulbs, a dimmer switch if possible, or even candles, real or electric, just to mimic the rhythm of the setting sun. This isn't just mood lighting, it's rhythm support. For people over 60, circadian rhythms shift naturally, often making sleep come earlier in the evening and wakefulness come too soon. Light can help retrain and guide that cycle, and your bedroom is the starting point. And here's something most people don't consider: the noise that's not quite loud but always present. Even in retirement, many older women I speak with live near busy roads. Or they hear the ticking of an old clock, or the faint hum of a refrigerator through the wall. It's not enough to call noise per se, but it's enough to chip away at deep rest. In Feng Shui, sound is part of the energy field of a space. It should be intentional. It should soothe. A small indoor water fountain or soft nature sounds from a speaker can help reclaim the quiet. Let's not forget color. It's easy to think of paint as a decorative choice, but your bedroom walls and bedding are constantly feeding signals to your brain. In hospitals, for instance, certain colors are used to reduce patient stress. There's a reason gentle blues, muted greens, and soft earth tones are so often recommended. They ground you. They cool the mind. Bright reds or bold patterns, on the other hand, may be lovely, but they don't invite sleep, especially not if your mind is already active when your head hits the pillow. So when someone says, "I've tried everything," it might be worth asking, have you tried making your bedroom your ally? Have you made it your sanctuary? Because here's the deeper truth. Sleep in later life is not just about health. It's about dignity. It's about letting your body recover, letting your heart rest from the worries of the day, letting your memories soften instead of sharpen. And your bedroom is the only place that can hold all of that for you, if you let it. Now, if you're listening and thinking, "I'd love to do this, but I don't know where to start," start small. Start with one change. Move the mirror. Clear under the bed. Add one soft lamp. And then see what your body tells you. See how you breathe. See how you feel in the morning. Because that feedback, that subtle shift, that's your body finally speaking after years of being ignored. And if this resonates with you, I'd love to hear about it. What's one thing in your bedroom that you've changed, or want to try changing after watching this? You can share it in the comments. Not just for me, but for the other women out there who, just like you, are looking for small ways to sleep more peacefully, to age with strength and softness, to create a space that cradles them, not just at night, but through every chapter ahead. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking it or sharing it with someone you care about. And if you'd like more gentle, thoughtful guidance like this, subscribe. There's so much we can explore together. Because sleep, like life, should be soft, safe, and sacred.